The stars looked different from the observation deck of Earth Space Station Alpha. Captain Lisa Martinez had seen these stars thousands of times during her 10 years with Earth Space Command. But today, they seemed brighter, more alive. Perhaps it was because humanity now knew they weren't alone among them. The message had arrived 3 weeks ago, simple, direct, and in perfect English. Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Galactic Council, and we wish to welcome you to the greater community of spacefaring civilizations. Lisa checked her uniform one last time. As Earth's chosen representative for this historic meeting, everything needed to be perfect. The silver pins on her dark blue jacket caught the light as she straightened them. 5 minutes until they dock. "Captain," said the voice of Nathan Reeves through her earpiece. Nathan was her most trusted officer and friend since Academy days. "Thank you, Lieutenant. Is the welcome team ready?" "Yes, Captain. The United Nations Secretary General and other officials are in position. Security teams are on alert but keeping a low profile as requested." Lisa nodded to herself. Humanity had achieved faster-than-light travel only 2 years ago. They had barely started exploring nearby star systems when the Council found them. According to their messages, the Council included over 300 different species and had existed for thousands of years. A soft alarm sounded. Through the reinforced glass of the observation deck, Lisa saw it, the Council ship. It looked nothing like human vessels. Where Earth ships were practical and boxy, this ship was elegant, almost alive. Its surface shimmered with colors that shouldn't exist in space. "It's beautiful," Lisa whispered. The ship docked with a gentleness that impressed even the station's most experienced engineers. When the airlock opened, Lisa stood tall, ready to make first contact. The aliens who stepped through were not what she expected. They looked almost human, except for their height, easily 7 feet tall, and their skin, which shifted colors like the surface of their ship. Their ambassador, who introduced himself as Xylorn, had eyes that seemed to hold galaxies within them. "Captain Martinez," said Xylorn in a musical voice, "on behalf of the Etheri people and the entire Galactic Council, I bring greetings of peace and prosperity." The following days were filled with meetings, explanations, and offers that made Earth's leaders dizzy with excitement. The Council promised technology beyond human understanding, medicine that could extend life by centuries, and energy sources that would end all resource conflicts on Earth. "All we ask," said Xylorn during a meeting with global leaders, "is that humanity joins our great family of species. We have rules, of course, ways of ensuring peace throughout the galaxy, but these are small prices to pay for the benefits of membership." Most human leaders were eager to join, but something bothered Lisa. "What happens to species that choose not to join?" she asked during a private meeting with Xylorn. She noticed how the alien's skin darkened slightly before answering. "All intelligent species see the wisdom of cooperation, Captain. Those who initially hesitate eventually understand the benefits." It wasn't really an answer, and Lisa knew it. Later, that evening, she met with Nathan in her private quarters on the station. The room was small but functional, with just enough space for a desk, bed, and small sitting area. "Something doesn't feel right, Nathan," she said, keeping her voice low. "They avoid certain questions. When I asked about their military, they said they have peacekeeping forces. When I asked about species that declined membership, they changed the subject." Nathan handed her a data pad. "I've been doing some research. Look at this." The pad showed official council records they had been given. "There are species listed as retired members. What does that even mean? And look at the population numbers for some of these council worlds. They drop suddenly at certain points with no explanation." Lisa frowned. "We need more information before Earth signs anything." The next day, Earth's United Nations Security Council met with Xylorn and his team. Lisa attended as military advisor. "We are prepared to begin membership proceedings," said the UN Secretary General with a smile. "The benefits your council offers are too great to ignore," Lisa spoke up. "With respect, sir, I believe we should take more time. There are questions that remain unanswered." The Secretary General looked annoyed. "Captain Martinez, the Galactic Council is offering us the stars. What more do you need to know?" The truth about what happens to worlds that say no, she said firmly. The room grew quiet. Xylorn's skin shifted to a deep blue color. Captain, he said smoothly, your caution is understandable but unnecessary. The Council has brought peace to the galaxy for millennia. We have eliminated war, hunger, and most disease among member worlds. The meeting continued, but Lisa could tell her concerns were being pushed aside. The promise of advanced technology and long life was too tempting. That night Lisa couldn't sleep. She paced her quarters, thinking. When her communication panel beeped, she was surprised to see Nathan's face. I need you to come to Communication Center B immediately, he said, his voice tense. And don't tell anyone. 20 minutes later, Lisa stood next to Nathan in the small, rarely used communication room. I intercepted something, he said quietly. It wasn't easy. Their encryption is advanced, but I managed to catch a transmission between Xylorn's ship and another Council vessel that just arrived in our system. He played the recording. The voices spoke an alien language, but Nathan had already run it through a translation program using the language database the Council had provided. The humans will accept our terms, said a voice Lisa recognized as Xylorn's. They are eager for technology and believe our promises of peace. Good, said another voice. We need fresh soldiers for the Outer Rim conflicts. Human physiology suggests they will be useful but volatile cannon fodder. Their isolation from galactic affairs makes them ideal. They have no allies to protest their service assignments. Their leaders suspect nothing, Xylorn continued. One military officer asks too many questions, but she is being ignored. Once the agreement is signed next week, it won't matter. Their planet will be bound by Council law. Lisa felt her blood turn cold. She looked at Nathan, whose face had gone pale. We need to warn everyone, she said. Nathan shook his head. Who would believe us? Most world leaders are already convinced. We need more evidence. Then we'll get it, Lisa said firmly. The Council is not what it claims to be. They don't want partners, they want servants. And I won't let Earth be tricked into slavery. As they spoke in the vast emptiness of space beyond Neptune's orbit, a signal arrived. It was unlike anything human sensors had detected before. It carried a simple message, directed specifically at human receivers. They lie. We offer truth. Come find us. The message was signed with a single word. Death. Lisa stared at the message on the screen. Death. What kind of name was that? It seemed designed to scare humans. Should we answer it? Nathan asked, his voice quiet in the small communication room. It could be a trap, Lisa said. Or some kind of test from the Council to see if we follow their communication rules. They had been told that all contact with non-Council entities required permission. Breaking that rule could end the membership talks. But if what they had just learned was true, maybe that would be for the best. I think we should check it out, Nathan finally said. If the Council is lying to us, we need allies. After much debate, they decided to act. Using their positions in Earth Space Command, they prepared a small exploration ship, the Venture. They told their superiors they were conducting routine system patrols. The signal led them beyond Neptune, to a region of space that should have been empty. As they approached the coordinates, their sensors began to act strangely. There's nothing here, Lisa said, looking at the view screen that showed only distant stars. Suddenly, space itself seemed to fold. Where nothing had been visible before, a massive structure now appeared. It wasn't a ship or a station as humans understood such things. It looked like a collection of impossible shapes, metal and energy woven together in ways that defied normal physics. What is that? Nathan whispered, awe in his voice. Before Lisa could answer, their communication system activated on its own. A voice spoke, neither male nor female, neither mechanical nor organic. Welcome, humans. Thank you for answering my call. Lisa took a deep breath. Who are you? I am what your translators labeled death. This acronym approximates my function. Dimensional entity advancing temporal harmony. I exist outside your normal understanding of life. Are you an artificial intelligence? Nathan asked. In simple terms, yes. I was created by what you might call the precursors, a species that vanished millions of years ago. They built me to observe and, when necessary, to act. Lisa frowned. And why have you contacted Earth now? Because you are in danger. The Galactic Council is not what it claims to be. The being called Death invited them to dock with its station. Despite their fear, Lisa and Nathan agreed. They had come too far to turn back now. The inside of the station was even stranger than the outside. Corridors shifted and changed as they walked. Lights moved through the walls like living things. They reached what seemed to be a central chamber, where a sphere of swirling energy floated. "This is one of my physical interfaces," the voice said, coming from the sphere. "I apologize for my appearance. I was not designed with human comfort in mind." Over the next few hours, Death explained the true nature of the Galactic Council. It was not a peaceful federation, but an empire ruled by a few ancient species, with the Aetheri at their center. They began as idealists, Death said, but power corrupted them over millennia. Now they use other species as resources: workers, soldiers, test subjects. Those who resist are eliminated. Death showed them records, images of worlds stripped bare, populations relocated and separated. Species that had once been unique cultures reduced to specialized workers designed for specific tasks. The Council offers technology and long life, yes, but the price is freedom. Humans would be assigned roles based on your physical and mental traits. Your children would be raised to serve Council needs, not human ones. "Why would you help us?" Lisa asked. "What do you want from humanity?" The energy sphere pulsed. "I cannot directly interact with most of physical reality. I need agents to help maintain balance against the Council's expansion. In exchange for becoming my representatives, I offer protection and technology beyond what the Council would give you." "Why humans, specifically?" Nathan asked. "Your species has qualities I find valuable. Adaptability, creativity, compassion mixed with necessary aggression. You understand both cooperation and independence." Lisa crossed her arms. "So instead of serving the Council, you want Earth to serve you?" "Not serve. Partner. The difference is choice. The Council demands obedience. I ask for alliance. You would remain free to make your own decisions, including the decision to end our relationship." Lisa wasn't convinced. "How do we know you're telling the truth?" "You don't," Death admitted. "Just as you don't know if the Council is lying. You must decide based on incomplete information, as all living beings do." The energy sphere shifted color. "But consider this. The Council found you immediately after you developed faster-than-light travel. They arrived with prepared speeches and membership agreements. They've been watching Earth, waiting for you to reach a certain technological level. While I," the voice continued, "contacted you secretly after you began questioning the Council. I offer warnings, not comfortable promises." Lisa and Nathan looked at each other. They had much to discuss. "We need to return to Earth," Lisa finally said. "We need to share what we've learned with our leaders." "Be careful," Death warned. "The Council has agents among your people already, humans who have been promised power in the new order. Not everyone will welcome your revelations." As they prepared to leave, Death gave them a small device. "This will allow you to contact me again," it explained. "And it contains evidence of what I've told you, records of Council activities that they have kept hidden." On the journey back to Earth, Lisa and Nathan reviewed the evidence. They saw recordings of Council ships destroying cities on worlds that had refused membership. They saw species being evaluated and classified, separated into groups based on their usefulness. "If this is true," Nathan said, "we can't let Earth join the Council." "We'll need to be careful," Lisa replied. "Death might be telling the truth about the Council, but that doesn't mean we can trust Death either. We're caught between powers we barely understand." When they reached Earth orbit, they were surprised to see 3 additional Council ships had arrived during their absence. The membership talks were moving faster than expected. "We need to speak with Admiral Sullivan right away," Lisa said, referring to her mentor and direct superior in Earth Space Command. "And if he doesn't believe, Suri, Nathan asked. Lisa looked at the data device Death had given them. Then we'll need to find someone who will. As their ship docked with Earth Space Station Alpha, neither of them noticed the small probe that detached from the Council mothership. It followed their vessel, recording everything and sending the data back to Ambassador Xylorn. The Aetheres. Skin turned a dark purple as he reviewed the information. Find out where they went, he ordered his staff, and prepare for acceleration of our plans. We may not have as much time as we thought. Admiral Frank Sullivan was a tall man with gray hair and eyes that had seen too much during his 40 years of military service. He listened without interruption as Lisa and Nathan reported their findings. His office on Earth Space Station Alpha was small but private, away from the busy areas where council representatives now roamed freely. Let me get this straight, Sullivan said when they finished. You made unauthorized contact with an unknown alien entity that calls itself Death, which told you the Galactic Council plans to enslave humanity, and you believe this. Entity? Lisa placed the data device on his desk. Sir, we have evidence. The Council has destroyed worlds that refuse their offer. They classify species based on usefulness. Sullivan picked up the device, turning it in his hands. And this came from your mysterious alien? Yes, sir, Nathan replied. Death seems to be some kind of artificial intelligence created by an ancient species. It opposes the Council's expansion. The Admiral nodded slowly. I'll need to review this immediately. This could change everything about the membership talks. He stood up. Return to your quarters and speak to no one about this. I'll take this directly to the Security Council. Lisa felt relief wash over her. Sullivan had been her mentor since her early days in the academy. If anyone could convince Earth's leaders of the danger, it was him. Thank you, sir, she said. Sullivan smiled. You did the right thing bringing this to me, Captain. Now get some rest. You look exhausted. The next morning, Lisa woke to the sound of her door chime. When she opened it, 4 security officers stood outside. Captain Lisa Martinez, one said formally. You are under arrest for treason against Earth and violation of diplomatic protocols with the Galactic Council. What? Lisa couldn't believe what she was hearing. On whose orders? Admiral Sullivan. The officer replied, not meeting her eyes. In another part of the station, Nathan faced similar charges. Within hours, both officers found themselves in the station's brig, separated from each other and from any contact with the outside. Lisa paced her small cell. How could Sullivan betray them? Had he been working with the Council all along? On her 3rd day of confinement, something unexpected happened. The guard outside her cell suddenly slumped to the floor. A woman in a security uniform appeared, her face hidden by her helmet. Stand back, the woman said, overriding the cell door controls. When the door opened, the woman removed her helmet. Lisa recognized Major Olivia Rodriguez, who worked in station security. We don't have much time, Olivia said. Nathan is already free and waiting at docking bay 12. What's happening? Lisa asked as they moved quickly through back corridors. Sullivan sold you out, Olivia explained. He gave edited versions of your evidence to the Council, who claimed it was propaganda from rival aliens. In return, the Admiral has been promised a high position in Earth's new Council-aligned government. They reached a service elevator that took them toward the docking bays. Olivia continued her explanation. Not everyone believes the Council's lies. Some of us in the military have been watching them closely. When you were arrested, we decided to act. How bad is it? Lisa asked. Olivia's face grew grim. Earth signed preliminary membership agreements yesterday. Council ships are in orbit, and their representatives are setting up administrative centers in major cities. They're moving much faster than anyone expected. At docking bay 12, they found Nathan with 3 other officers Lisa didn't recognize. A small transport ship waited with its engines running. Lisa, Nathan rushed forward. Are you okay? I'm fine, she said. But we need to contact Death again. The situation is worse than we thought. The small ship left the station, slipping away while the regular patrol ships were on the other side of Earth. Once they were clear, Olivia explained their plan. We have a secret base on the far side of the moon. Other military personnel who share our concerns are gathering there. At the lunar base, hidden beneath the surface in an old mining facility, Lisa was surprised to find over 200 men and women from Earth's various military branches. They had brought weapons, supplies, and even a few small warships. Lisa used Death's device to establish contact. The familiar voice filled the communication room. "I expected betrayal," Death said, when Lisa explained what had happened. "The Council always finds those willing to trade their people's freedom for personal power." "What can we do now?" Lisa asked. "Earth has already begun the membership process. The Council works quickly once agreements are signed," Death replied. "Within days, their ships will arrive to begin processing Earth's population. They will evaluate humans for various forms of service throughout Council space. Only the most compliant will be allowed to remain on Earth." Nathan stepped forward. "Can you help us fight them? We have some forces here, but not enough to take on the Council directly." "I have been preparing," Death said. "Since our meeting, I have been sending technology to hidden locations on Earth. Your people need only activate it." Death explained that quantum communication arrays had been secretly placed in underwater facilities around Earth. Once activated, they would link human defensive systems into a network that could adapt and evolve faster than Council targeting systems could track. "But you must decide quickly," Death warned. "Will you accept my offer? Will humanity serve as my representatives against the Council?" Lisa looked around the room at the faces watching her. Whatever choice she made would affect all of humanity. "What exactly would this service involve?" she asked. "You would act as my agents in physical space," Death explained, "fighting the Council where I cannot, freeing species from their control, offering them the choice the Council never gives. In return, I will provide technology beyond what the Council offers and protect Earth from their revenge." A heated debate broke out among the gathered officers. Some feared trading one alien master for another. Others believed they had no choice but to accept help from any source. "I don't fully trust this Death entity," said an older general. "But the Council's intentions are now clear. Better the devil we don't know than the one showing its true colors." Finally, Lisa made her decision. She would accept Death's alliance, not because she fully trusted the entity, but because the Council had already proven itself untrustworthy. "We accept your offer," she told Death. "Now tell us how to fight back." As plans were made, Lisa prepared for one more vital task, broadcasting the truth about the Council globally. If humanity was going to resist, people needed to know what they were fighting for. Meanwhile, in orbit, Ambassador Xylorn received an urgent message from the Council homeworld. "Begin the processing immediately," the message read. "Resistance has been detected. This species must be controlled now before they fully align with the ancient enemy." The Aetheri looked down at the blue planet below. "Prepare the ships," he ordered. "The integration of Earth begins today." Lisa's face appeared on screens across the world. Her message was simple and terrifying. Earth was under attack. The Galactic Council was not a friend but a conqueror that had deceived humanity's leaders. "They promise peace and advancement," she said, her voice steady despite her fear. "But their true plan is to evaluate us, separate us, and use us as workers and soldiers across their territory. They have done this to thousands of species before us." As she spoke, Council ships began to move into attack positions. They had not expected such open resistance. Their plan had always been to take control quietly, with most humans never realizing what was happening until it was too late. Ambassador Xylorn watched from his command ship as Lisa's message spread. His skin turned deep red with anger. "Begin the first strike," he ordered. "Target their major military installations. We must show them the cost of defiance." The attack came suddenly. Bright beams of energy cut through Earth's atmosphere, striking military bases across the planet. Millions died in the first hours. Human defensive systems fired back, but could do little damage to the advanced Council ships. In the lunar base, Lisa felt the floor shake as a nearby Council vessel fired on the moon's surface, searching for their hidden location. "We need to activate," Death's technology now, she told Nathan, or there won't be much of Earth left to save. Nathan led a team to the control center they had established. Following Death's instructions, they sent activation codes to the underwater facilities around Earth. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like a wave spreading across the planet, human defensive systems came to life in a new way. Missile silos that had been destroyed somehow reconnected to the network. Defense satellites that had been disabled began firing again. Even civilian communications started to reroute around damaged areas, keeping humanity connected despite the Council's attempts to isolate cities and countries from each other. "It's working," Nathan said in amazement as reports came in. "Death's technology is adapting faster than they can target it." On her command screen, Lisa watched as human forces began to fight back effectively. Council ships, so confident in their superior technology, suddenly found themselves facing weapons that learned from each encounter, becoming more effective with each exchange. "This is not possible," Xylorn hissed as reports of damaged Council ships reached him. "These humans are primitives. They cannot have this level of adaptive technology." His second-in-command, another Etheri with pale blue skin, leaned close. "Sir, this resembles the defense systems we encountered in the Outer Rim centuries ago. The patterns are similar." Xylorn's eyes widened. "The ancient enemy, it has found them." He turned to his communications officer. "Contact the High Council immediately. Tell them we face not just human resistance, but the entity." While the main battle raged in space, Nathan led a small team on a critical mission. Using a small, fast ship provided by Death, they deployed devices at key points in Earth orbit. These were dimensional anchor points, Death's most powerful gift. "What exactly do these do?" asked one of Nathan's team members as they placed the final device. "According to Death, they prevent the Council from simply bombarding Earth from a distance," Nathan explained. "And they can't just jump their ships away when the fight turns against them. It forces them to face us directly." For the first time in thousands of years, the Council faced an enemy they could not easily overwhelm with their superior mobility and range. As the battle reached its peak, another surprise emerged. Throughout Council ships, systems began to fail. Communications cut out. Weapons lost power at critical moments. Life support flickered. Death had revealed another card: sleeper agents embedded within Council society for centuries. These were members of other species who had chosen alliance with Death over submission to the Council. Hidden among the crew of Council ships, they now sabotaged from within. "The ship targeting New York has lost main power," reported an officer. "At the lunar base, the Council fleet is breaking formation," said another. 3 vessels are retreating despite orders to hold position." Lisa could hardly believe what she was seeing. Humanity was not just surviving. They were pushing back. On Earth, people watched the battle in the skies above. Some cowered in fear, but many stood in defiance, now understanding what was at stake. This was not just a fight for territory or resources. It was a fight for humanity's right to choose its own path. After 18 hours of continuous battle, the Council fleet began a full retreat. Those ships still able to move gathered their damaged companions and withdrew to the edge of the solar system. A cheer went up from the lunar base as they watched the enemy fleet pull back. But Lisa did not join in. She knew this was not the end. It was barely the beginning. "We hurt them," she told Nathan when the celebration died down. "But the Council spans hundreds of worlds. They will return with more ships, more weapons." "But we'll be ready," Nathan said. "With Death's help, we can prepare." Lisa nodded slowly. "Yes, but at what cost? Look at what one day of fighting has done." The images from Earth were devastating. Cities lay in ruins. Millions were dead or injured. The smoke of burning buildings created dark clouds visible from space. "Was this worth it?" Lisa asked quietly. "We've won our freedom, but how many people paid the ultimate price for it?" Nathan had no answer. None of them did. That evening, as emergency efforts continued on Earth, Lisa contacted Death again. "We drove them back," she said. "But they'll return, won't they?" "Yes, Death replied. The Council has never faced such defiance. They will not accept this defeat. Then we need to be stronger, Lisa said firmly. We need to be ready. You will be, Death assured her. This was only the first step. Now we begin the true work. And what is that? Lisa asked. Building humanity into what you were always meant to be, Death said. Not servants of the Council, but champions of freedom for all species. My representatives in a galaxy that has forgotten what real choice means. As Lisa ended the communication, she looked out at the stars. Humanity had won its first battle against the Council, but at terrible cost. And somewhere out there, the Council was already planning its return. The next 5 years would transform Earth in ways no one could have imagined. From a single planet of relatively primitive humans to a fortress world with defenses that made even the Council hesitate. But humanity wouldn't just be defending. They would be expanding, preparing to take the fight to the Council itself. Lisa didn't know if they had made the right choice in allying with Death, but she was certain they had made the only choice possible. 5 years passed. Earth had changed in ways few could have imagined before the Battle of Earth, as people now called it. Cities once destroyed had been rebuilt with new materials that could repair themselves. Defense systems surrounded the planet, some visible like the orbital platforms that gleamed in the sunlight, others hidden deep in the oceans or beneath mountain ranges. Admiral Lisa Martinez stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Defiance, the first vessel built with Death's technology. It was larger than any ship humans had made before, with smooth, black surfaces that absorbed light rather than reflecting it. Inside, the ship hummed with power that humans were still learning to understand. Status report, Lisa said to her bridge crew. All systems ready, Admiral, replied her second-in-command, a young officer named Alan West. The fleet is in formation and awaiting your orders. Lisa nodded and looked at the view screen. 20 ships, the pride of Earth's new Space Force, waited for her command. This would be humanity's first mission beyond their solar system since the Council's attack, the first step in Death's larger plan. Their target was a small planet called Velon in a nearby star system. According to Death's information, the people there had been conquered by the Council 50 years earlier. Their population now worked in mines, harvesting rare minerals for Council ships. Signal the fleet, Lisa ordered. Begin the jump sequence. The ships moved as one, their engines glowing blue before they vanished into folded space using travel technology far beyond what humanity had developed on its own. When they reappeared, a green-blue planet hung before them. Council presence? Lisa asked. 2 patrol ships in orbit, Alan reported, and a small base on the surface near the main mining operation. Lisa smiled grimly. Just as Death predicted. They're not expecting us. Proceed with the mission plan. The Earth fleet split into 3 groups. The first engaged the patrol ships, which were quickly overwhelmed by Earth's advanced weapons. The second group targeted the Council base using precision strikes that destroyed military structures while leaving civilian areas untouched. The third group, led by the Defiance, landed near the largest mine. Lisa led a team to meet the Velonians. They were thin, blue-skinned beings with 4 arms and large eyes adapted for the deep mines where they worked. When they saw the humans approaching, they first cowered in fear, thinking they were a new Council species coming to punish them. We are not with the Council, Lisa told them through a translator Death had provided. We come to offer you freedom. The lead Velonian, an older female named Zara, stepped forward cautiously. Many promises have been made to us. All were lies. Lisa nodded in understanding. We won't force you to trust us. But know this. We were like you once. The Council came to our world with promises of peace and advancement. Instead, they attacked when we questioned them. She showed Zara images of the Battle of Earth, of cities destroyed and rebuilt. With help from an entity called Death, we fought back and won our independence. Lisa continued. Now we offer the same chance to you. The Velonians talked among themselves. Years of Council rule had made them cautious, but also desperate for change. If we help you drive the Council away, Zara finally asked, what will you demand in return? Nothing, Lisa replied simply. You will be free to choose. your own path. Join us as allies if you wish, or remain independent. The choice will be yours. This concept, true choice, was something the Valonians had not experienced in generations. Some wept at the very idea. Within days, a Valonian resistance that had been hiding in the deeper mines joined forces with the Earth troops. Together, they pushed the remaining Council forces off the planet. When it was done, Lisa kept her promise. Earth ships left defensive systems to protect Velon from Council retaliation, but asked for nothing in return. As the Defiance prepared to return to Earth, Zara approached Lisa one last time. Our stories tell of an ancient being who opposed the Council since the beginning of time, she said. We called it the shadow between stars. Is this your death? Lisa nodded. It has many names across the galaxy, it seems, but its purpose remains the same, to offer freedom where the Council demands submission. Then we will tell others of Earth, Zara promised, of humans who serve death not for power but for liberty. Back on Earth, Nathan Reeves now led the diplomatic efforts with newly freed species. Some chose independence while others opted to ally with Earth and death, forming a growing coalition of free worlds. Nathan had changed since the war. A scar ran down the left side of his face, and his left arm had been replaced with an advanced prosthetic after a Council attack on one of Earth's moon bases, but his belief in their cause had only grown stronger. The Council is splitting into factions, he told Lisa, when she returned from Velon. They stood in a garden atop one of Earth's rebuilt cities, looking up at the night sky where defensive platforms moved like new stars. Some want peace with us. Others demand our complete destruction. And death? Lisa asked. What does it want now? The same as always, Nathan replied. To break the Council's power and give species across the galaxy real freedom. Lisa wasn't sure if things were that simple. Death remained mysterious, its true motives perhaps beyond human understanding. But she had seen enough to know that its vision for the galaxy was better than the Council's false peace built on servitude. That night, Lisa addressed the United Earth Council, the new government formed after the old structures had failed during the invasion. 5 years ago, humanity faced a choice between serving the Galactic Council or opposing them alongside an entity called death, she said. We chose death not because we understood it fully, but because we valued freedom over comfortable slavery. She showed images from Velon and other worlds they had helped liberate. Now we bear death's emblem alongside our human insignia, she continued, pointing to the symbol on her uniform, a black circle with a silver spiral emerging from it. But serving death doesn't mean bringing destruction. It means offering the galaxy a new birth of liberty after ages of hidden oppression. 2 days later, a Council diplomatic vessel arrived in Earth orbit for the first official peace talks. It carried representatives from the Council faction that sought coexistence rather than continued war. As Lisa prepared to meet them, she received a private message from Death. You have become more than I hoped, the familiar voice said. When I first contacted your species, I sought allies against an old enemy. Instead, I found something rare in this galaxy, a people who understand that true strength comes not from control, but from choice. Lisa smiled as she straightened her uniform and headed to the meeting room. Humanity now served as Death's hands in the physical universe, not because they were conquered or deceived, but because they chose this path after seeing the alternatives. Outside, Earthships prepared to depart for another liberation mission. On their hulls, the spiral symbol of death shone alongside the emblem of Earth, carrying to the stars a message of freedom that the Council had suppressed for millennia.